So, I told you we weren't going to Cleveland. We're in Europe, specifically Basel, Switzerland, on the Viking Vidar for a Rhine River cruise in July. And we just got here. Our flight from Frankfurt to Basel was a little bit delayed, but nothing too bad, only about half an hour. I think the plane was a little bit late getting in. Other than that, smooth travels over, so no complaints there. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Basel, Switzerland, which is I think is rigorously pronounced Basel, but they'll forgive me for my mispronunciation. But from what we've seen of the city so far, it's a relatively industrial city with a lot of port activity and that kind of thing going on. Very well maintained, but very industrial. And we had our own private transfer from the airport to the ship, and that went really well. We've gotten all checked in, so we're gonna head on out and kind of go on a little foot walking tour of the city here and see what we can find. So the reason we came to this particular location is because this is listed currently on Google as a Toys R Us. So for the novelty, since they don't exist in the US anymore, for the novelty of seeing a Toys R Us, we decided to come here and check it out, but we found that it has been recently converted to a Smith Toys Superstore. So not the Toys R Us that we were hoping for. It definitely does still have the look and feel of Toys R Us inside, but unfortunately for us, we were bitten on this one. So we'll continue our walking tour of Basel before we have to get back to the Viking Vidar and catch up with you in a minute. Yeah, so we're in this neat shopping center where we're looking for the Toys R Us, and it's got a really neat architecture, and it's got an interesting sort of set of escalators here, so we figured it's more like a people mover type thing, so we figured we'd take you up to the second floor with us as we're exploring, just to see what's going on. On the ground floor there's a Denner supermarket, which seems to be relatively common here in Basel, and I keep saying Basel. It's probably rigorously pronounced Basel, so all of you can complain to me in the comment section. But so Denner is it seems to be their chain supermarket here in Basel. Doesn't seem like there's much going on the second floor of this mall here. There's a gym, perhaps a 24-hour fitness that's not open 24 hours. Those are always novel. But we can look back here on the main floor again. There were a couple shops and a couple restaurants over there on the other side of that wood panel offset cube structure there in the middle. So we're gonna walk around the mall here in Basel and see what else we can find. Yeah, guys, so as I've mentioned in a few of my other videos, in Europe they're very particular about roadways and crosswalks and rules of the road. So you'll watch here as somebody approaches the bike lane and crosswalk, and people will typically immediately come screeching to a halt. They didn't do it there, but they're very particular about it. And in fact, here you can see this footbridge that we're going. They have bicycle traffic on the right and pedestrian traffic on the left. And I'm very mad that they just made a liar out of me, because we crossed that bridge right before I shot that vlog, and traffic immediately, it was funny, trucks, cars, everything came screeching to a halt. And then I felt bad, so we hustled right across there straight away. But this is a nice little, this is a neat little gathering area here in Basel. There's a building there off in the distance that looks like it has some interesting architecture. You can see there's a couple sitting down there with their feet in the river, looking like they're about to break up. This is a nice little tributary of the Rhine River here, with some stairways to the apartments, and pretty neat. Basel's a pretty industrial city, as we found. There's train tracks and it's a big port. There's a lot of ship traffic that comes in and out of here. We saw a lot of industrial companies that you'd probably recognize the names of, like Man Diesel and things like that on our ride in. There you see the streetcar over there going through there. So, and we're actually docked. Our ship is actually docked in a very industrial part of town. So we've just been kind of cruising around here and seeing what we can see and just enjoying the day. It's a super nice day here in Basel. I guess it was really hot last week. They said it was in the upper 90s, so even hotter than it is back in South Florida where we live. So it's actually cooled off this week. So I guess everybody's happy about that. But so yeah, so we're gonna finish up our foot tour here of Basel and wrap up tonight with a nice dinner at the Viking Vidar. I guess we're sailing a little earlier than we thought we would. Yeah, we take off at 7 p.m. We had asked about other on the Facebook group. We asked about other sailings, and they were typically sailing around 9 or 10. So we're actually getting underway a little bit earlier. We have our mandatory safety drill at 6:45, and we have always our favorite thing. We have our cruise director's welcome PowerPoint presentation at 6 p.m. that we're going to dust off. So maybe we'll see you there. If we can find a good shooting angle, we'll show you that from outside the ship, because those are always kind of fun to watch everybody staring very intently at a PowerPoint that says the ship is going to sail tonight and tomorrow we'll be at the next port. So if you need a PowerPoint presentation with your handheld to figure that out, then maybe this isn't for you. But anyhow, so from beautiful Basel, as we continue to walk around and enjoy the day, we'll be back in a little bit. Yeah, so we came on our way back to the ship. We came to this neat railroad trestle that we're going to walk across here too. This is for a lot of the trains that load and unload here in Basel, and but they have a footbridge on one side of it, so it's really neat. Unbelievably well maintained. You hear in the U.S. you hear a lot about bridges and disrepair and that sort of thing, but no, this is in immaculate shape. I don't know if you can tell from the vlog, but all the paint is fresh, and everything looks very structurally sound. So I guess they do a little bit better upkeep here in Switzerland. But I mean, this has kind of been the story since we got here. Just transporters everywhere, and trains, and trestles, and just a whole lot of activity going on here. So we're gonna walk along the river trail. Yeah, guys, so one of the things we were most looking forward to doing here, they have you can search it out on Google, they have a transportation museum here in Basel. And it's right here. It's dedicated to all forms of transportation, shipping and railway and that kind of thing. So we were super psyched to do that. We said, okay, if there's one thing we do today on our embarkation day, it's going to be that. And lo and behold, even pulling and pushing, it's closed. We Googled it, and it turns out they open at I'm sure it says so right there on the sign, but we Googled it and it says they open tomorrow at 10 a.m. So it's weird because we got here about 3:30 p.m. on a Thursday, and it is July 4th, but that means nothing in Switzerland. It's an American holiday, of course. So it's sad that the transportation museum is closed. But you can see what I'm talking about here when I say Basel's a very industrial city. There's a logistics operations center here with shipping containers on the railways, and they're loading up. You can see the crane down there. They were loading up those shipping containers. So it's a pretty if you're of the in fact, here comes a transporter right here, so we're going to try not to get hit. And if you're of the engineering mind, and you like watching things work, and you like that sort of thing, this is a neat place for you. Too bad oh, looks like the train's coming as well. Too bad the transportation museum isn't open. But regardless, it's been kind of a fun walkabout. So I think we're gonna leave you here for today. we are unless we show you the. Of course, another transporter goes by at a very inopportune time. Unless we show us dusting off the welcome party. So we might do that depending on how things play out. But if not, we will see you tomorrow from the Black Forest. And we did succeed in getting 2 spots on a tour of the Colmar World War II Museum. So we're very much looking forward to that. And so that'll be a good time. But that'll be tomorrow's vlog. And until then, we'll see you from Basel, Switzerland.